The NBA season is nearly at the halfway mark and college basketball is in the middle of conference play. This year's crop of collegiate and international prospects features talented point guards and versatile wings and forwards that could become a vital piece to an NBA franchise. In 2015, a record-setting 13 freshmen were taken in the first round. This year, that record could be broken. In this video, I'll break down the top prospects for the 2017 NBA Draft. Let's get it.
We got a problem.
Washington freshman guard Markelle Fultz. This guy offensively is the complete package of athleticism, scoring, and playmaking. He has impressed with dribble creativity, shot making, both inside the arc and behind it. What stands out about Fultz is his ability to make everything look so easy. He has the size, quickness, and skill to be a bona fide star in the NBA. He is a shoot-first point guard who is extremely creative and is advanced in pick and roll already. Fultz has the ability to play on the ball and off the ball, and despite a weak supporting cast, he's still managing around 6 assists per game, looking just as comfortable and threatening in a setup role as he is scoring. My NBA draft projection for Markelle Fultz is a #1 draft pick. UCLA freshman guard Lonzo. He has the prototypical size, athletic ability, and skill level to be a top-notch point guard on the next level. His most valuable quality is the pace in which he plays, always pushing the tempo and controlling the flow of the game. Ball enhances the team offensive efficiency with the talent to identify and create quality scoring opportunities for teammates. The ability to make players around him better is truly a gift. Ball has a calm demeanor and maturity rarely seen in a freshman. Maybe his greatest weakness is his shooting form, which may limit his effectiveness from mid-range against NBA lengths. You rarely see him make a 2-point field goal that isn't a dunk or a layup. His shooting form reminds me of longtime NBA 2 guard Kevin Martin. Despite having unorthodox mechanics with his jump shot, he continues to drill three-pointers at a scorching rate. He's making around 2.5 three-pointers per game at a 43% clip. Ball needs to work on creating for himself in the mid-range area and also attacking and finishing at the rim in half-court situations. My NBA draft projection for Lonzo Ball is a top 3 draft pick. NC State freshman guard Dennis Smith Jr. He's an explosive lead guard and is relentless at attacking the rim. An out-of-the-world athlete who is a powerful dunker and a 6'2" frame. Has handles and a first-step ability to get to the paint and finish. He shows an excellent feel for the game and a natural leadership ability. Not known for his outside shooting, he's looked more comfortable than expected, making around 2 threes per game at a 38% clip. If he's hitting threes at that percentage consistently, his offensive game becomes deadly. Smith is unselfish and a very willing passer. Has a strong body which allows him to finish in traffic and can draw fouls and get to the free throw line at a high rate. He still needs to work on his decision-making and sense of urgency, but between his athleticism and ball skills, he projects to be a gifted scorer and playmaker. My NBA draft projection of Dennis Smith Jr. is a top 3 draft pick. Duke freshman forward Jason Tatum. He jumps out as the most polished and versatile scorers among wings and forwards in the draft class, with step backs, jab steps, and fadeaways. Tatum's footwork is impressive. He has an old-school mid-range game and creates for himself off the dribble. He has some point forward potential and is a good playmaker. Shooting consistency could take time, but Tatum has a jumper that projects out to the NBA three-point line. His athleticism is solid, but not great, which limits his potential a little bit. Tatum is a strong defender who can guard 2s, 3s, and 4s. He has been a pleasant surprise on the defensive end, averaging around 2 steals and over a block a game. My NBA draft projection of Jason Tatum is a top 5 draft pick. Kansas freshman forward Josh Jackson. Quick and competitive on defense, Jackson's two-way versatility and room to grow offensively creates a high upside. Jackson is probably one of the best slashers in the draft class. He is an exceptional run and jump athlete who plays with an edge and fire and has the chance to become a great leader. Jackson has the talent and athleticism to become an all-around all-star level player if he continues to develop. An underrated part of his game is his court vision. He sees the court well and tends to make the right basketball play, but his unreliable jump shot could be the reason why he slipped out of the top 3 in the draft. Improving his shooting motion will be an immediate priority for his future NBA team. He has a low release on his jumper, which makes it easier for a defender to bother his shot. My NBA draft projection for Josh Jackson is a top 5 draft pick. Kentucky freshman guard Malik. He is a top-level athlete who can play above the rim and has proven to be one of the best shooters and scorers in the nation. He plays with poise and ice water in his veins. He's shooting around 40% from three-point range. Monk uses transition opportunities and jumpers off screens and spot-ups, basically shots that doesn't require a great deal of dribbling. But his handles have gotten better over the course of the season. He doesn't score many field goals at the rim in half-court situations. He is taking twice as many threes compared to free throws. While his athleticism and shot will give him the opportunity to have a successful career, his undersized frame and length could limit him to become just a role player and not the all-star level player some people think he could become. Maybe a transition to point guard could be the best option to be more successful. My NBA draft projection for Malik Monk is from 6 to 8. Florida State freshman forward Jonathan Isaac. He has a similar game and length to last year's second overall pick, Brandon Ingram. He has a ton of versatility and is a matchup nightmare who can stretch the defense and score off the dribble. Isaac has remained both patient and efficient in Florida State's offense. Only taking 8 shots per game, he's still managing to flash unique, convincing skills and versatility for a 6'10" forward. He has the ability to pull up and shoot over defenders with such ease. And when given the opportunity and space, he has shown he can face up, handle the ball, and get to the basket, with around 60% of his field goals at the rim going unassisted. He needs to add strength to be able to defend in the paint better. Could be the biggest boom or bust prospect in the draft and has the chance to be an all-star level player. My NBA draft projection of Jonathan Isaac is from 6 to 8. Kentucky freshman guard De'Aaron Fox. His best attributes is his playmaking and defensive abilities. He uses open floor opportunities, ball screens, shiftiness, and a quick first step to break down defenses and gets to the rim. Fox is an excellent floor general who excels at setting up his teammates. He is proven to be an extremely dynamic athlete with his ability to jump above the rim and also has the body control to finish off drives over big men. Can score in a variety of ways with both hands. He plays like Patrick Beverly on defense, a very disruptive and pesky defender. He has long arms and quick hands, which leads to a lot of deflections and steals. Along with his 16 points per game, he's also handing out 6 assists, showing a good feel as a pick-and-roll facilitator. His outside shot is his weakness, even though his shooting mechanics look solid. I feel he doesn't necessarily have to be a three-point shooter, just become a consistent mid-range shooter to keep the defense honest. My NBA draft projection for De'Aaron Fox is from 9 to 12. Arizona freshman forward Lauri Markkanen. He is a highly skilled big man who has great size and a sweet shooting stroke, which makes him an intriguing prospect. A 7-footer making around 2 threes per game at a 46% clip, Lauri Markkanen and his jumper will probably find their way inside the top 10. More than just a shooter, the stretch big man has even been used as a pick-and-roll ball handler, a tribute to his versatility and ability to face up and create off the dribble. He's not much of a presence inside the paint on defense at this point and will benefit from adding muscle to defend the lane at an NBA level. Markkanen's suspect rebounding and rim protection hurts his value, but between his shot making and overall skill set at his size, his offensive game will be highly coveted. My NBA draft projection for Lauri Markkanen is from 7 to 10. French guard Frank Ntilikina. He has emerged as a legitimate top 10 prospect. He's got a huge 7-foot wingspan and has really progressed as a passer and a shooter. Coming off an MVP showing at the Under-18 European Championships in December, had some scouts saying he should be in the running for the top pick in the draft. I don't know if I can go that far, but it's something to think about. Though not as quick as Fox and Smith Jr., he's a better shooter than both, connecting on 44% of his three-pointers in France and 59% during the Under-18 Championships. Ntilikina isn't flashy with the ball, but he makes good decisions as a passer and a scorer and plays the game with a calm, poised demeanor. He projects as a defensive floor general with 6'5" size and suffocating length. My NBA draft projection for Frank Ntilikina is from 8 to 12. Duke freshman forward Harry Giles. He is slowly getting his legs and confidence back following a preseason knee procedure, his 3rd procedure in 5 years. The concerns about his knees have caused his stock to fall rapidly. And though he isn't likely to score in bunches in Duke's loaded lineup, a team could still show the willingness to reach on potential, which comes from a 6'10" size, 7'3" wingspan, quickness, and athleticism. When healthy and confident, Harry Giles is a super quick, high-flying power forward with big-time potential. He can get to the rim with a burst and overpower defenders. He has impressive ball handling and passing ability for a power forward. Giles clearly needs time after missing Duke's first 11 games and all of his senior year in high school. Waiting for his skills to improve and explosiveness to return would be worth it for a lottery team. My NBA draft projection for Harry Giles is from 10 to 14. Creighton freshman center Justin Patton. Nobody has risen higher than Justin Patton since the season started, who's been just impossible to ignore at Creighton while averaging around 14 points per game on 74% shooting. He's an athletic 7-footer with savvy post footwork, great hands, and mobility. Patton will definitely get some team to reach on his upside. Along with being a giant target for lob, Patton has also flashed impressive back-to-the-basket moves and even some outside touch. For the past 2 years, Patton was a relative unknown. He was a tall, lanky 6'10" big man who weighed just 205 pounds. Patton grew 2 inches and added 25 pounds to his frame during his redshirt season last year, and his transformation has been on display all year. My NBA draft projection for Justin Patton is from 12 to 16. Kentucky freshman center Bam Adebayo. No other big man in this year's first round packs a more destructive power and bounce than Bam Adebayo. He possesses long arms and athleticism and has the physical tools to dominate inside. He'll make a living in the paint as a center who runs, dunks, and rebounds. He doesn't have polished moves in the paint and relies on simply overpowering his opponents. Occasionally, when given space, he's shown he can score with a jump hook or a 12-foot jumper. But he'll earn his NBA minutes and contracts with his motor and finishing ability. My NBA draft projection for Bam Adebayo is from 14 to 18. California sophomore forward Ivan Rabb. There isn't anything flashy about Rabb, who lacks explosiveness and perimeter skills, but he's developed into a sharp post player and a double-team magnet due to his terrific back-to-the-basket footwork and shot-making ability around the key. He shoots the ball with good form and will likely expand his range to the NBA three-point line. Rabb is a solid shot blocker and interior defender who has very quick hands and good awareness. He consistently gives strong effort under the boards, where he's averaging around 11 rebounds per game. You get the impression his rebounding ability will carry over based on his tools, motor, instincts, and hands. My NBA draft projection for Ivan Rabb is from 12 to 16. UCLA freshman forward TJ Leaf. He is a fundamentally sound, high-energy stretch forward who can sell a team on his ball handling, shooting, and strong passing instincts. Along with drives, putbacks, and post buckets, he's also hitting around 50% of his three-pointers, catches the ball well, and has a great touch around the rim. Has the ability to facilitate the offense with his passing and court vision. Can handle the ball and can take pressure off the guards, and has a knack for making the right basketball play. The only question is if he can guard NBA bigs. He doesn't change directions well, and his lack of strength and quickness could keep him outside the lottery. My NBA projection for TJ Leaf is from 15 to 20. Michigan State freshman forward Miles Bridges. A team will covet Miles Bridges' explosiveness, which should continue translating to monster finishes, rebounds, and block shots. He is a powerful player, very strong, and can really elevate, especially considering his strength and weight. He'll slip in the draft without a signature offensive move. His shooting touch, free throw shooting, ball handling, and post game each need work. Bridges is a committed defender who can lock down his man and force a lot of turnovers. There are questions about his fit without sharp perimeter skills or traditional big man size. Isn't a great ball handler and can get sloppy with the dribble, especially in transition. He has been shooting the ball well lately, and if that continues, he'll end up getting drafted in the lottery. My NBA draft projection for Miles Bridges is from 12 to 16. German forward Isaiah Hartenstein. He is a big forward with a polished offensive game. He uses the dribble well and has the prototypical size for a stretch forward. Hartenstein strengthened his draft stock in December at the Under-18 European Championships, where he averaged around 15 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 blocks a game in less than 26 minutes. Scouts were reminded of his skill level as a scorer and a passer. With his athleticism and strength, Hartenstein plays through contact and finishes with power, but also has finesse to his game. His tools and offensive versatility makes him an intriguing option in the mid-first round. My NBA draft projection for Isaiah Hartenstein is from 14 to 18. Texas A&M freshman forward Robert Williams. He is probably one of the most competitive prospects in this year's draft. He is an athletic player who has a high upside and a high motor to go along with a 7-foot wingspan as a forward. He can explode off the floor and can become a great rim protector. Williams moves his feet really well and can cover ground quickly. Although his offensive game is raw, he has shown a lot of promise in the low post with jump hooks and has good form on his jump shot. Williams is an upside pick with the potential to be a respectable offensive player. My NBA draft projection for Robert Williams is from 15 to 20. Indiana sophomore forward OG Anunoby. His skill level doesn't scream top 10, but his mix of size, athleticism, quickness, and length might just have him drafted in the top 10. There's a rumor that this guy has a 7'6" wingspan. I don't know how true that is, but if it is, that is ridiculous for a wing player. Anunoby is the best perimeter defender in the draft with his lockdown ability, versatility, and playmaking. He plays with energy and wears opponents down over the course of a game. Anunoby is still improving as a shooter from deep and has the work ethic to become a consistent outside shooter. He's still raw offensively, especially making plays off the dribble. My NBA draft projection for OG Anunoby is from 10 to 14. Guard Terrence Ferguson. He is a long and wiry perimeter player with a silky smooth jumper. His high-level athleticism and shooting projects favorably for a 6'7" wing in the NBA. His jumper, quick feet, and explosiveness in transition creates 3-and-D potential, even if he enters the draft without much production overseas. He's quick and graceful in the open court and gets off the ground exceptionally well, but he doesn't have a lot of strength and will have to put in work to gain muscle to hold his own on the next level. His lack of strength limits his potential of penetrating the lane and scoring in traffic. My NBA draft projection for Terrence Ferguson is from 16 to 20. Florida State sophomore guard Dwayne Bacon. An athletic 6'7", 220-pound wing, Bacon has the ideal tools to build upon. He'll be able to carve out an NBA career as a scoring specialist if he continues to sharpen his perimeter skills. Bacon creates shots for himself with drives, runners, step backs, and pull-up jumpers. He excels at getting to the rim and finishing in traffic. He has a much improved three-point shot with decent form, but he isn't as consistent of a shooter as one would expect. He is very active on the court and impacts the game in all areas. He has all the tools and potential to be a standout defender. My NBA draft projection for Dwayne Bacon is from 18 to 22. Villanova senior guard Josh Hart. He is a mature shooting guard who contributes in all aspects of the game. Lack of athleticism and versatility held Josh Hart back in the draft discussion last year. He's responded during his senior year by improving in every aspect of his game, specifically his shot creating, playmaking, and shooting. Hart is a very efficient player who shoots over 50% from the field and has become a knockdown three-point shooter. He's also an unselfish player and plays within the flow of the game. He'll be 22 years old in March, but his toughness and versatility should earn him an NBA role the way Malcolm Brogdon has with the Milwaukee Bucks. My NBA draft projection for Josh Hart is from 22 to 28.